Hey, sis. How are you this evening? This is Kivette Minor Kane, your financial liberation expert, and I'm coming to you on our Wednesday evening Wealthy Women conversation. So, this is the first Wednesday of the month, and we're going to be discussing health is wealth. And our topic here helps us to understand that our physical health actually contributes to our financial wealth, because when we take care of ourselves physically, then we're able to function optimally, to do the work that's necessary, whether it's our mental capacity or actual physical work, carrying out the tasks that need to be done and the activities that need to be completed on a day-to-day basis, so that we can build our empires, so that we can, build our wealth, and so that we can continue to run our businesses and be our best. And so I want to bring in our guest, who is going to give us some tips, and she's going to share her story of what health and wealth mean to her, and how health is wealth. She is Chrystal Chaplin-Walsh. And she is the owner of She Does Limited over in London, England. She is a partner of mine. We've been working together over the last year in finance and creating a global organization called She Changes Hand, where we're bringing financial advisors together around the world so that we will be able to educate women regardless of what country you're in. We'll be able to make sure that you get the knowledge and the support that you need to follow the regulations and laws as they apply in your country and in your location, but that you will most importantly feel that you have the support that's necessary in order for you to continue to grow and to move forward. And so we're been working on that project, and we're continuing to grow. And so stick around, because you'll hear some more, I'm sure, about She Does about She Changes Hand coming up in the future. And of course, some more about She Does, because Chrystal will be back with me, I'm sure, on many broadcasts in the future. But this evening, I'm going to bring her in. She is absolutely a phenomenal woman. She is a mom of a 9-year-old daughter. She's a single mom, and she has been working her buns off to make sure that she's serving the community over in London, England, through her gymnastics club. And I want you to hear the story of how this all started, where she came from, and what is her absolute passion for health is wealth. And so I want to welcome with me Chrystal Chaplin-Walsh. Hey there, Chrystal. How are you?
Hi. I'm so honored. What a great introduction. What a great introduction. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome.
Yes, I have two businesses. There's two parts of me, as well as being a mother to a 9-year-old, a beautiful girl. And really, it's a whole juggling act for me that is led by passion, passion for really being able to serve my purpose, and my purpose is really being able to touch souls. So yes, we talk about money, yes, we talk about health, but ultimately, I want to be, remembered and known for someone that genuinely cared. And this is the way I choose to do it. I choose to do it by giving my ladies that financial support and knowledge, and just helping them step by step to provide that care. And being a gymnastics club owner, I was a gymnast since the age of 3. That was kind of put upon me sooner than I planned. And it's really interesting. I was just having a conversation. Well, Cavette and I are always speaking. We're always speaking about various topics inside the business that we're working on together, She Changes Hand, and also around our personal lives, because we are partners, business partners, and we also are sisters in business, and we really are supporting each other to get ahead and to get towards our goals, and really just coaching each other how we can possibly serve our communities better inside our business, and also outside as an individual, because I think it's really important to work on who you are, and
Mhm.
who you are really then flourishes in your business. It flourishes when you take on those in your business that work with you, for you. Um, who you are as a principal, I think, just flows right into that. So there's been a lot of self work that Cavette and I have been doing throughout the lockdown, and we've been there supporting each other with our businesses. But a bit of a story which I'm probably navigating around not telling. But I'm going to share with you guys. I was a gymnastics at the age of 3, and my mother taught me throughout most of my gymnastics career, which was a real honor. At times during my teenage parts of my life was a bit of a challenge, that mother-daughter relationship, but there's always that love and respect there, which has been amazing, and it's created some really lovely memories for me. Knowing that was the gymnastics club was my mum's heart and soul. And I just always knew that that would always be in the family, and I didn't really think that it was something that I would have to maneuver into at this point. I was telling Cavette that, you know, before I even got into insurance and before I even really grasped how much getting personal life insurance can help support you and your family if you have it in place, I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. Like most people, and this is no judgment at all, um, people just believe that life insurance is really just to cover you when you die. But life insurance is so, so, so much more. And if you don't know that, then I would, urge you to get in contact with myself or Cavette in the US, to find out more. Finding out more, you don't need to pay for that knowledge and that insight. Just find out more and find out how it can really help you if you do not have the cover. Even if you do have cover, find out if it's the right cover, because a lot of people pass away and it's unfortunate because their families then find out that it wasn't the right cover. So just bringing you back, I actually asked my mum, uh, this was before I was in the industry, say about 9 months um, before a situation. So I asked her, and in any case, it may have not been the right time to ask her. So I asked her about her life insurance and her pension. I said, Mum, you need to get these things sorted.
Mm-hmm.
She was getting on towards the age of 50, so she wasn't very old, but she was getting on towards the age of 50. And I was like, Mum, you really need to get these things in place because your pension, you can't really be guaranteed to get anything from the state for when you're ready to retire. So, Mum, please look into these things. And quite honestly, the love of a child as people normally say, it kind of reverses when you get a bit older, in a sense that your children bring you up. But then when you're an adult child, it's like you're then bringing your parents up in a way and supporting
Yeah.
your parents. So I was having that conversation with my mum because I was trying to make sure that she had things all in order. So in the long term, because I am, financially where I come from a banking background, um, I didn't want her to be in a position where she felt inadequate through not being independent, which meant that
Mm-hmm.
she would have had to depend upon my finance and my financial support. And with regard to her health, my care and my support, because I know how my mother is. So anyway, she ignored me and brushed it off, and um, unfortunately, 9 months or so went by, and in that 9 months, I also had a breakup, and I ended up in a homeless situation. A homeless situation, ending up just in one room with my daughter Cavette. And it was a real um time to reflect. It was I broke. I broke so deeply. I couldn't even explain to you how much I broke, but I can tell you is there was so much joy in the healing process. Why
Yeah.
do I say that? Because I've got to rebuild to be really, I know it sounds so cheesy, but so much more of a greater version of myself. I mean, just behind me, or this side, just behind me, you may not be able to see the wording, but that is the focus that I have these days. I never had that focus
Mm-hmm.
before, you know. Um, and I've been able to rebuild and place such an armor on myself, Kaveh. I was just
Yeah.
saying to a friend today that the breaking that I had, okay, the way how I rebuilt myself, you know, and put on that different level of armor. Someone can say to me, "You need to walk through a wall." I say, "Okay." I say, "Okay, I'll do it." You know,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
empowered I am from that. in any
Absolutely.
case.
It seems like sometimes the hardest things for us, or those greatest challenges, are the things that reveal our greatest strength. Because of
Absolutely.
just like you said, the joy of being able to heal from that reveals to us who we truly are.
Here we are.
Before that challenge came along, you didn't know how strong you were. And so
Absolutely.
that challenge revealed that kind of, peeled back those layers and
Mhm.
showed you, this is the strength that you have inside that will actually shine for you as you continue to grow forward.
Absolutely. And I would have never known that I had it in me. I would have never
Yeah.
have known that I had it in me. So anyone that's listening to our live just now, I just want to share with you, if you're going through something, face it head on. Face it head on. Try to
Yeah.
understand it. If there's no understanding in it, then trust God to get you through it, you know, and then will come the understanding once you're through it. But going back to me being in a homeless situation, I got a call saying you've got your next place of accommodation to move into, which was a joyous part of the day. And then I got another call, I mean, they could have been about 5 hours in between each other, saying that your mum's been rushed into hospital. So you can
Mhm.
imagine the emotional feelings that I had. I had to move, which people normally find quite a traumatic situation anyway.
Yeah.
I had to move, and I also had to be with my mum. Coming from that, I was doing a 9 to 5. I was studying. I've got a little girl. Literally, I just went into airplane mode, you know, and I was just
Mhm.
like, I've got to turn the blinkers off. I've got to focus, and I've got to get things done. Um, that gymnastics club became my own because if it had closed, quite honestly, the heart and soul that my mum has put into being a club owner before it was
Mhm.
solely transferred to me, I believe that would have completely crushed her soul, completely. Um, so that was a great responsibility to bear. Um, but for me, again, it was one of those times that, it didn't break me, it made me. And that's, for me, with regard to the health is wealth topic, for me, it really hits home. It's very personal to me because it's really shown me why it's so important to keep, as a woman, to invest in your health. And as much as you invest in your health, you have to invest into your wealth. There is no wealth,
Absolutely. Yeah.
without that investment and without that direction. It's very rare people actually get money just thrown on their lap, isn't it, Cavette? And
Mhm.
in that, if there's no investment after that, what happens to that money? It disappears because they don't know how to invest it and they don't know how to manage it. And I think
Yeah.
it's similar to health, really, because if you don't invest into it and manage it and really investigate what you need to keep yourself ticking over, because we're merely just fragile beings, and if we don't take care of ourselves, then quite honestly, there is no wealth. There is no wealth.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned the aspect of life insurance that comes into play here because,
Mhm.
what many people don't realize is that their premiums for life insurance are actually based on their health.
Absolutely.
You have to qualify for life insurance. You can't just put in an application and buy it. You have to
Mhm.
put in an application and go through the underwriting process to see if you qualify. That means if you are healthy enough, if you are
Mhm.
a good enough risk for that life insurance company to say, yes, we will
Mhm.
provide the insurance for you in case something happens, so that
Mhm.
you will then have the funds to care for your responsibilities. But we want to make sure that you're not putting yourself at undue risk of death,
Yep. Do you know
because
what's
then that
funny?
becomes a liability for them. Say it
Do you
again.
know what? Do you know what's funny? While you were saying that about the underwriting process, do you know what I was
Hmm.
thinking about? I was thinking about your credit rating.
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking insurance, that health
it is.
process is pretty much like your credit rating
Yep,
for being able
it
to
is.
get a substantial loan, if you wanted to buy a house. Again, because they're loaning you money and that's a huge risk. So they've got to assess your position to be able to
Yeah.
give you that benefit.
Hmm.
So I was actually just thinking about that with regard to health, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's key, because a lot of folks don't understand that the worse their health is, even if they do qualify for life insurance, the higher their premium is going to be because they are a higher risk for the insurance company to take. And that also plays into the fact that it's cheaper for us to buy insurance at a younger age because it is assumed that at a younger age we would be healthier,
Yeah.
and we would be at less risk of death. And so, being able to take advantage of that opportunity early on means that we're able to put ourselves in a position where our health can really support us in growing or creating the wealth that we truly desire for our futures. Many people don't realize, and we're learning because we're doing our jobs at coming out and educating women, especially in this area, to make sure that we are more conscious of what the options are for us to make this
Right.
choice. Of course, our first option is always to do nothing at all, but we don't want everybody taking that option.
Yeah.
Because doing
Exactly.
nothing at all really puts us at a detriment. And
Yeah.
so how would you say you have seen that? And I know that you have worked with your clients and have seen some situations where not doing anything or allowing situations to just kind of carry on and not really being active and taking care of them have been detrimental for them.
Well, do you know what? Luckily, it's as I said, what I do is such an honor, honestly.
Mhm.
Every client that I have done a consultation with and for on life insurance, I talk through their health and I really encourage them to better their health. So, for instance, one of the main things that I encourage people to do if they are smokers is actually to reduce smoking. And a simple way that I do that is just by showing them the cost that it would be if they didn't smoke, you know?
Mhm.
And once they see how much they're having to pay to a non-smoker, and especially in the
Mhm.
background, if they were considering not smoking, do you know how quick, fast they literally say to themselves, do you know what, I'm literally going to stop smoking? Because I also talk them through the fact that, which they know because they buy the tobacco packets, they know that if they smoke, they could get this illness, that illness, and so forth.
Mhm.
So I make it very clear in insurance, if you smoke, the reason why it's doubled is because you're doubling your risk of getting
Mhm.
all these possible critical illnesses. So you're
Yep.
a heavy risk. So for me, the benefits, we call them living benefits, don't we, Kavette?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, because there are
right.
many.
There's so many. So for me, the living benefits are the fact that you can get annual health checks. You've got access to GPs, you've got access to specialist opinion, you have got access to therapy. So a lot of people go through life and they lose people. They lose people to whatever cause, death, whatever it may be, or illness. Um, and they get bereavement counseling. And when I say to them, you can get bereavement counseling with
Mhm.
included in your insurance package, they're like, really? Can I? I'm like, yeah, you
Yeah.
can. This is what's there on offer. Fracture cover is another one, which, no one intends to break a bone, but God forbid, when that actually happens, they're so excited to get their money because they're just like, great, I've got this on top of my other cover.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the living benefits, but guess what? Some of those living benefits have been there for years, you
Mhm.
know, and
Decades.
yeah, they've been there for years. And the thing is, they've been there for years and they've been encompassed in this policy that's in black and white that unfortunately
Mhm.
people do not read. And some advisors do not express to them the benefits that they can get. So therefore, they're missing that. And they're just taking it away as, I've got this life insurance. So when I die, my kids get some money. No, that's
No,
not,
it's
that's not
for.
all.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
all.
for situations that occur while you're still living as well. I know here in the US, we've got our critical illness, our chronic illness, and even our terminal illness coverage riders,
Same
along with
here.
cash value policies that can provide some cushion. When you run into those kind of medical diagnosis and you have to take time off of work, even if you're going to, if you've got a terminal illness diagnosis, it puts you in a position where you're actually able to take care of some of the financial responsibilities that
Yeah.
otherwise might not have an opportunity to take care of, but you can do it in advance, and that is truly a benefit. I mean, you think about the challenge and the turmoil that your family will face with the tragedy and losing you in death, but then you're able to give them some sense of peace in caring
Hmm.
for those things in advance, and it gives you a sense of power,
Yeah.
being able to do that. It's such a loving provision. I really do believe. And insurance companies aren't all focused in on love and stuff.
Do you
But
know,
it is absolutely a loving gesture for us to take consideration of our families in that way.
it is. And, as I said, there's some policies that are for the policy holder, and there's some policies that are the policy holder's love letter to their family and their loved
Absolutely.
one. Um,
Absolutely.
whilst you were speaking, I just wanted to, I want to just take this moment just to speak to somebody that
Mhm.
may have parents. Just think to yourself, insurance, unfortunately, we talk about the worst case scenario and we also talk about the best case scenario. But more
Yeah.
often than not, it's the worst case scenario. In order to make sure that you're comprehensively covered, I just want
Hmm.
you to, that person, I just want you to think about your parents and think about, if they weren't here, tomorrow, what are your responsibilities? What will your responsibilities be? Again, when I work with clients, I also talk about care and the process of a funeral um, plan, you know. And by
Hmm.
that point, a lot of children, let's say adult children, don't know what their parents want. They have no
Wow. Yeah.
idea whatsoever. And for me, that is a major problem. Why? Because in the mourning process, you're less likely to think clear, you know, and
Hmm.
you speak on it a lot as well, Kavette, emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
so loved ones will spend above and beyond their means to make
Hmm.
sure that their loved ones are laid to rest very well.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have
Absolutely.
that conversation with your parents and find out that they just want something quite simple, have that discussion. They may not even be ill. Have the discussion, because when that time happens, because it may come, you know, when I say it may come, there's lots of dynamics as to why you may not see your parents passing. But the point is that if that dynamic does come along, you want to be able to go into pilot mode and just know, yeah, tick. I remember mum saying that. I remember dad saying that. Yep, I've done that.
Hmm.
Yep, I've done that. Oh, yeah. And you start, in a way, even though you're mourning, you'll also have a place of happiness and
Yeah.
contentment, because you're servicing what their desires were. Other than if you didn't have that tick list and you didn't have that life insurance, it is complete dismay. Like, it is, I couldn't like, I've met
Yeah.
so many families and they really get it. They're just like, you know what, I put myself into debt.
Yeah.
I didn't know what my mum wanted. The family were arguing. Um,
Yeah. It takes a
Unfortunately,
toll on everyone involved. It really, really does.
yeah. The house had to be sold. And guess what? We're not talking about bricks and mortar. We're talking about memories. We're talking
Hmm.
about memories, people. Yeah. So I'm
And we're
saying
talking
to
about
you
losing the wealth that a family could continue to build upon.
that as well. And the thing is, as you said, it's built upon. It's
Hmm.
not starting again. Some people lose heads of the families and they feel like they're starting their wealth journey again,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
So my thing is, even in a joyous moment, as I said, I encourage you again, your parents don't have to be ill for you to have the conversation, but have the conversation. And if your parents aren't here, have the conversation with your children and let your children know what you want,
Yeah.
and put them at peace. I just want to stress that a lot, because I think a lot of people don't do that because they feel like, oh no, it's, morbid. it doesn't have to be that way, you know.
Right. Absolutely. It's about the perspective that we really take in showing, as I mentioned earlier, the loving concern
Mm,
about making sure that our families are cared for in that way, and
mm,
putting to rest the anxiety that can really
mhm,
come up and challenge them additionally on top of the grief that they will experience from, losing a loved one. And so that is very important for us to keep in mind, in caring for ourselves in terms of our health and how we can qualify for life insurance. But you also play another role. So you are a gymnastics club owner, and that you inherited from your mom early.
yeah,
You took
yeah,
on that responsibility because she had some health challenges,
yeah,
and so you wanted to make sure that her business continued to serve your community,
yeah.
and so we want to know, from that capacity, because I know that you have been very health conscious and we've had these conversations before. What are some
Mm,
of the tips that you would give to folks to encourage them in
mm,
maintaining their health and keeping themselves in healthy to a point where they're able to function, but even beyond functioning, being able to not just survive but to thrive, and to be able to, like you said, giving them the advice about not smoking will help
mhm,
them to improve, the rates that they're able to give for life insurance. What
yeah.
other, advice have you seen has been beneficial, for those based on your gymnastics and health club ownership? I see that water. Yep, absolutely. Drink more water.
Drink, you know, we kid, but I mean it. You know,
Yeah,
I think it's being mindful first before anything. Be mindful first of yourself before anything. Getting to know self is so important, okay? Because that leads the way and, just disperses out into where you want to be in this world, you know?
yeah,
Um, Everyone has a purpose and everyone has, um, you know, they have the ability to create memories, and it's really how you want to create those memories and for how long, because that's what health is all about, really. How
hmm,
long do you want to create those memories for? um Also, it would be to drink water, yes. um does it mean, I've done a bodybuilding competition? Did I ever think I was going to do a bodybuilding competition? Uh-uh, no. But
and we're
I
not
I
saying
did
that y'all all have to get into, bodybuilding competitions, but it won't hurt to put on that regimen just for a little bit, right?
it. Exactly. But the thing is, I did that. I took up that challenge because for me, what keeps me alive is challenges, right? So
Mhm.
I took up that challenge because I love food, and to do bodybuilding, you have to eat in a certain way. And also, I wasn't so keen on, working out, but I gained such mental strength from that process. So I think, firstly, as I said, I'll go back to your mental stability in terms of where you are in knowing self, because knowing self also will tell you what your cycle is. So if I can just explain to you what a cycle is, so from my experience,
Mhm.
so my cycle is one of which where every 6 weeks, I need to, it doesn't matter how busy my schedule is, every 6 weeks, I need to take out at least 2 days for myself. Okay. If I don't
Mhm.
do that, I know I'm not going to be productive for the next 6 weeks. Okay.
Mhm.
In the lockdown, I couldn't fulfill my normal routine, which is to go and get a massage, which is for me not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm juggling quite a lot of hats at the moment, and I've got two businesses. And it's not that it's stressful, it's just that being on the go a lot of the time and constantly and around the clock. I mean, now it is 11:30 p.m. in the UK for me, and I've been going since just before 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
So, do I do this every day? No, I don't. I can't. I'm only human. And if I did choose to do it, I know that it's going to affect me, because the other thing is rest. You need rest. So it's water, it's mental health, it's rest. And I haven't even got into the physical aspect of it. But the fourth thing that I would mention is being aware of your surroundings. So actually going out into the world and taking in nature. I know it sounds so, I'm giving you cost effective things, people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take
Yeah.
in
It doesn't
nature.
cost anything to take a walk around the neighborhood.
No, no. I mean, I have mentioned massages, but massages may not be your thing. Water should be your thing. Taking time out for yourself and thinking about who you are, what you want, how you're positioned. Are you getting enough rest? Think about
Mhm.
yourself first. Yeah. Get
But that's
that
another
rest.
thing too about the massages. That's something that we maybe need to think about investing in for ourselves, because we
Absolutely.
need to take that time and invest that money in our physical health so that we will, have a better quality of life. That
Absolutely.
quality of life is so significant. And it's something that if we're working so hard, we can even lose sight of, the fact that we're depleting our quality of life in that process.
Yes.
So it
Yeah.
means a lot for us to take a pause and to
Mm,
really care for ourselves. And self-care is a part of being a wealthy woman. Absolutely. So thank you for bringing
absolutely.
that up as a
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah.
I got to schedule my
And
massage.
yes, and having the rest, self-care is a multitude of things. Even self-care is making sure that you have made sure that your calendar is set
Mhm.
out right. So you're not feeling, again, it comes to the mental health side, you're not feeling stressed. Can I
Yeah.
just highlight that word stress? STRESS, okay? Underscored. That is the biggest silent killer that people do not even realize is approaching. And that is when they don't have self awareness. Now, stress levels for myself might be different to Covette's, and it may be different for you. Yeah. But you need to be aware of where your stress levels are, and also having that 360 awareness, in your financial, in your fitness, in your family and your loved ones. Have that awareness in terms of how you're managing those. So you're
Mhm.
protecting yourself, and you're placing yourself correctly. They're my tips. And guess what? Most of them don't cost any money at all.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Just a little time and attention. And that's the
Time
thing
and
that we
attention.
need to make sure that we're doing, paying attention to ourselves. If we don't pay attention, we will pay otherwise.
Absolutely.
It will really
Absolutely.
cost us. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So thank you so much, Chrystal, for sharing those amazing tips with us, for sharing some of your personal story, and helping us to understand, your balance between being a financial advisor and the gymnastics club owner. Because, we often, times we'll hear, and you and I have talked about this before. We're often told, oh, you can only do one thing, and you should only focus in on this or focus in on that. And yes, having focus is absolutely essential in order for us to be successful at one thing.
Mhm.
However, we as women have to acknowledge and have to recognize that we are multifaceted.
Mhm.
There's never a time, honestly, we were not designed to do just one thing.
Mhm.
And if we don't embrace the multi talents that we have and the desires to do different things that bring us joy, then we
Mhm.
won't be able to express our full, happiness or contentment in life. And so we want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're, paying attention to that as well,
Yeah.
focusing in on finding what makes us healthy and happy, and help us to feel like we're fulfilling our purpose in life. And
Yeah.
that what helps us to be mentally stable, emotionally well, spiritually
Mhm.
connected, physically healthy, and
Mhm.
financially sound, you know,
Yeah.
on all fronts. Yeah. So thank you so much, Chrystal, for coming to share that. How can folks reach out to you for more guidance and information on social media?
Wow, I don't know. Hopefully, they can see that lovely strip that Cavett has designed going across the screen, which I love. It makes me feel like I'm on the news.
Okay.
So from Chrystal Chaplin-Walsh to you, you can get to me on Instagram, and that's she does shedoes_org. So that's shedoes_org. And also you can have a look around on my new fabulous website, which is www.shedoes_org.uk. So I'm very proud of that website. So go in, take a look, see all the things that I'm so passionate about. There's 9 services, 9 angles of our services that we are super passionate about when it concerns supporting women. Cavette and I are jointly passionate about supporting women along their journey. So wherever you are, okay, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, ladies, we can support you. I know Cavette does a lot of work around, financial planning in terms of planning for retirement. She's very passionate about that. That is super important. Ladies, the economy is changing so swiftly and drastically. So again, I'm going to repeat, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, please reach out to either one of us. I'm in the UK, Cavette is in the US. Please reach out to one of us and just know that you can get our support to attain your goals. Okay. I just want to say that to you passionately. And I just want to dwell on the fact that we are here to support you, guide you along your journey to achieve your goals.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chrystal. And so make sure that you connect with Chrystal online through her Instagram. You'll be able to find information about how to connect more and understanding how health is wealth through her gymnastics business, as well as through her financial solutions that she's able to provide. And the joint venture that we have going, which is She Changes Hand, a global organization bringing financial education to women around the world. And so we're looking forward to being able to stretch out through that organization and being able to, to provide truly the necessary education, support, and guidance that women will be able to use on their journey to self-sufficiency, and that's the goal. It's being able to stand on our own 2 feet, to have the confidence that we need to be healthy and to be wealthy overall. So thank you so much, Chrystal, for being here with me this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Just want to mention a few things. Absolutely. We've got some events that are going to be coming up in the next coming months. We're going to be doing or hosting some financial education courses where our audience will be able to join us in those courses. I already do have some courses listed on marimorelife.com, or my website there. You can connect with me about those education classes and be able to gain the knowledge and information, understanding how money works, recognizing, how does the banking system benefit you? Where should you put your money in order for it to work for you as well? And Chrystal's going to be coming in again for our Wednesday Wealthy Women session to share more information. Absolutely. To share more information and to answer more questions. So feel free to make your comments below or to send us direct messages, DMs through our Instagram, or you can send me a DM on Facebook as well when you connect to Mar More Life on Facebook as well as on YouTube, so that we'll be able to answer the questions that you have. But we're also here to answer the questions that you don't even know to ask. And so hopefully we've been able to cover some of that this evening and be able to provide the support that everyone will benefit from and be able to continue to grow in your health and your wealth. And so thank you so much for all that you have shared with us, Chrystal. We I truly appreciate you, sister girlfriend, and all that we're doing in business. To grow together. Absolutely. Another point too, I don't want to forget to mention, is that we are hosting for She Changes Hands every week on Wednesday mornings here in the US at 7 a.m. and in the UK it's at 12 p.m. A She Changes Hand conversation on Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Just right. Our new
we
favorite
had a great one today, didn't we? It was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. We talked about mom's mental health and money. And so we're going to
Yeah.
continue that conversation next week. We're looking forward to that. And the ladies who are there with us, we're really excited about continuing because, we started off and it was great, but our time, gets away from us because, time flies when you're having fun. And so we'll be able to share more about that on Clubhouse. And then, of course, you guys will be able to come back here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get more information about wealthy women. And this week I talked about health is wealth. And next week we'll be talking about money talks, BS walks. On the third week of the month, we're going to have some love and money talk information. And then on the fourth Wednesday of the month, we'll be talking about, oh shoot, I just lost it. We'll be talking, what is it? On the fourth Wednesday of the month. I have my notes here.
I think that they need to stay tuned. I think they need to
stay
stay tuned.
Absolutely, stay tuned. Stay tuned so that we'll have more. I know what it is. We'll be talking about it. Our net worth network is what it is. And so we're going to be having, yeah, girl. And you're going to come back for that. That's when we get to break out our wine on Wednesday.
I'm there for that.
Break out our wine. Yeah, we're just going to have about some money, and I'm looking forward to this month having, and you got to come back because we got to talk a little bit about digital currency and crypto and helping these ladies to really understand how the financial world is shifting and changing. I've been paying attention to so much that's been going on around the world, and especially during this time, this globalization, this whole global community connection thing is real. And so we've got to pay attention to what we're doing and how we're participating so that our wealth can continue to flourish. So thank you so much, Chrystal. We'll look forward to having you back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.